right full fire. And then when they get to the height they want, they level off and pick up the speed and get out of range, because one lucky bullet from the ground could ruin your day. So that's a tactical departure. That's part of their training routine every day. Now let's take you through a flight. Rob's going to introduce you to the crew and tell you about the next few maneuvers. Captain Kevin Hart, and you will hear very little sound from the jet engine. Good neighbor aircraft, and good for the environment as well. Because of composite materials, those winglets, 4360 engines on them that generated a lot of horsepower, but still, the technology has gotten better and better. Watch now as the pilots from the 437th Airlift Wing at Charleston Air Force Base are going to show how this can turn on a dime in the United States change. From the left, they'll throw that stick over and put it into a balance. along the line from Charleston, South Carolina, explosion, coming straight over 2,000 pounds. Watch. Down, first to go. The panels open up, and the arc is about to explode. The backup. Turn around that for it. Parallel section. You're in a hostile area. Grab some steel mat, grab some gravel, grab some other unapproved strips, and that's how you get the airplane back where it can be unloaded through that rear ramp. It's also a door. You see for the main landing gear, how it slopes up. That's the load and unload point of the airplane. Lieutenant Colonel Clark Delfonte and the backup cam, the good two eyes of the Globemaster Technical Sergeant Matt Bullen. What an airplane. And it's the third most expensive airplane in the world. One bad tire will lift itself off the ground. Its bad tire's taken off, the other tire's put on, and down it comes back to normal, and you're on your way again. All of the maintenance.
Maximum gross weight with the new engines on it. They're over 1,000,000 pounds in the C-5M Super Galaxy, but there were some limitations on that airplane, and as we see this one take off, let's watch this, Danny. Tell me about the takeoff.
Now this will be a tactical takeoff. Simulation. That is from a hostile area outside of their airport because of one lone bullet from an enemy aircraft was introduced back in 1995. According to McDonnell Douglas, there were a total of 279 that were manufactured at Long Beach. 223 of those went to us here in the USA. Other aircraft went to NATO, to Canada, to Qatar, to the United Arab Emirates, to India, to Kuwait. And because of its ability on takeoff and landing on those short airports that have been carved maybe out of a jungle, out of a mountainside, they have increased the landing sites around the globe to about 7,000 more places that they can land this airplane.
Then the C-5.
We're going to maintain a high profile.
And the leading edge slats will also come down. It drastically changes the shape of the wing, doing two things. More drag, yes, but a lot more lift. So let's watch it as it comes through, and it's going to be fairly quiet until they clean it up. This is aerodynamically dirty, as they say. The landing gear is extended, leading edge slats, trailing edge flaps are there, and you can look at those flaps and see how they're arranged. It's really a very unique aircraft, having flown for the first time in September of 1931. Quick disconnect passages will get you to a panel that has a malfunctioning system in it. You pull that system out without having to have any special tools. Added safety measure times 3, actually. Primary flight control system computer, 3 computer backups, and a manual system if they get in trouble and get shot up badly. But watch them as they point. That's pointed. Just shove that stick over, and the aircraft responds like an aircraft a fourth the size of it. What are those things on the wings, by the way?
Oh, those are they're like mud flaps.
You know, you and I have been through this a lot of times. You've never said mud flaps before.
Yeah, but you're retiring, so I had to get a laugh. Oh, those.
Tell me, okay, ladies and gentlemen, before I let Clisham talk more, on the edges of the wings, there are things that you may have seen on an airliner. They are called winglets. as they stick up into the air a little bit. On this airplane, they're about 9 feet high, almost like regulation for basketball. What are they about?
Well, that's that is an invention of the great late Joe Clark. They are called winglets, and they are very effective. They have been retrofitted on corporate aircraft. They have been fitted on airliners, like Rob said, and on modern military aircraft. Inefficient air, turbulent air coming off the wings of conventional aircraft wings. They direct it to an efficient method of reducing the drag, which also reduces fuel consumption and increases cruise speed. Since the major introduction of winglets due to modern technology, billions and billions and billions of gallons of aviation fuel have been saved. And we credit that to the late Joe Clark.
Most of these airliners have what they call thrust reversers, and it turns the jet exhaust around and faces it forward to slow you down. It's noisy and you feel yourself being pushed forward in the seat. Anything that's on the armrest, if there's something there, it goes sailing forward. Don't try to get your phone. We'll get it later. But watch them as they approach at about 140 miles an hour. What you will see on this airplane is that the nacelles, the compartments which hold these F-117 engines, there will be panels that will open up, and you'll see that as they turn on the thrust reversers, taking some of that turbofan air and pushing it forward like turning a fan around to slow you down.
What if you don't have a wide enough runway to turn around?
Well,
what if you don't have a parallel taxiway?
I think we're going to see a little bit of a demonstration of that as well. Watch carefully. As soon as the aircraft touches down, panels on the nacelles will open up and they will turn the thrust reversers on. From the 437th Airlift Wing at Charleston Air Force Base, South Carolina, touching down, watch for the panels. There are, and this is about as much noise as you'll see the planes ever.
That's why it keeps the aircraft going off on the side. Go back. Reload without shutting down. Stay on the altitude territory. Now, Rob, what I want to mention today is, according to the facts on this airplane, C-17, it has the capacity to carry 134 troops. Seats for 134 troops. At the evacuation a couple of summers ago of Afghanistan, it was documented that 823 people got into that fuselage. They counted every one of them. They were evacuating our people out of Afghanistan. You think they were sitting down? No, they were elbowed ever. They were crammed in there. other line,